Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again, and today I am here to share this new couple that is currently developing. In this case it's between Amelia and Tina. But before we get into further details and actually explain everything that has been going on between the two so far, I just want to say that Amelia, she had been going through a lot, but in the current season 22 of Grey's Anatomy, Toni is a new plastic attending who shares a continuous history with Amelia. Yes, so basically do have history together, not a romantic history, but something that basically developed in the past that led them to this current moment of them actually having like this, situation, affair, loving, situation going on. But before we get into further details and actually discuss every single detail of everything that we know so far of the two, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So basically, the relationship between Dr. Amelia and Tina begins during a period of intense grief and professional transition for Amelia. If you guys don't know, we in the last time we saw Amelia, she basically was going through a lot as she lost, in this case, Monica. After the explosion, she basically lost Monica, so she stepped away from the hospital. She stepped away to go and take some time off, basically take a leave and heal and also process her guilt and her grief, that she felt by losing, in this case, Monica. So when she actually ends up coming back, like literally her first day back, imagine you just came back to work, you just like, okay, it's time for me to move forward, it's time for me, to see, figure out what is next for me. And the first day you come back, literally the first day you come back, that's where they actually have their encounter. If I'm not mistaken, it was season 22, episode 11. Yeah, so there's where you can start to follow their relationship. But so far, I have to say everything is going well. We will have to break down every single detail because I am so happy, that the writers are making this couple work. Their dynamic starts with a mix of professional friction and spoken attraction. Amelia becomes obsessed with Tina, seems to be ignoring her, which eventually reveals a history of missed signals between them. And basically, that's how everything develops. So, in this case, as soon as she arrived to the hospital, in this case, Amelia, she was introduced to Toni as the new doctor that's gonna be, part of the staff. So, when Toni arrived, she kind of agreed Amelia in a very, how can we say, a professional way. And obviously, Amelia in this case, they didn't sit very right with her because she was like, I know her. Why is she greeting me like this? Like she doesn't know who I am. So she kind of like obsessed with this idea for the fact that she doesn't understand why Toni is treating her this way, of giving her that energy that she's ignoring her. So later on, Amelia, obviously being Amelia, she went straight up to, in this case, Toni, and she went to sit with Toni, and she was like, hey, what's going on? Why do I feel like you are ignoring me? And this where Toni basically told her like, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just, keeping things professional. And she, because they actually, and I will get more into details regarding that. So when they started to have this conversation, you can clearly see that, Toni told Amelia, like, hey, when we were back in school, because they actually used to study together, I had a huge crush on you, and I didn't know if you were queer or you were into women. I even tried to kiss you, and I feel like you ignored me. So I didn't want you to feel pressured, and I didn't want to force anything that you didn't feel. So I decided to part my ways with you. And obviously, she said more of the story that, the reason why she acted so indifferent with Amelia is because Amelia was her, back in the days when they were in the school together, she was her crush. Obviously, that like kind of played a role in Amelia's mind. Later on, Amelia, actually went to help Toni on a case that she needed some extra hands. They did this very successful surgery, and then later on, when they had like a two or one-on-one moment, there is when Amelia also told Toni like, hey, back then I also used to have a crush on you, but I didn't know how to tell you also because of everything that we had going on back in the day when we were at school. And so more of the story, they basically just confess that yes, they have crushes on one another, and that's where thing actually ends up escalating very quick between the two. So later on, they actually went, they hooked up, like literally first spot after Amelia confessed that she also had a crush on Toni. Toni asked her to go get a coffee, but they didn't have a coffee. They actually ended up hooking up. And while they were having a moment together after they hooked up, you can see that Toni actually ends up asking Amelia, like, hey, would you like to go like on a real date with me? And Amelia kind of gave a lie. She actually lied to Toni. She was like, no, I can't because I signed up for these classes and I can't miss it. And it's very important for me. And Toni was like, okay, I get it. Maybe it was just a casual hookup for you. But then later on, there was another episode. If I'm not mistaken, it was episode 12. there's where, in this case, we can see, like, in this case, Toni outside the hospital, she was kind of upset on how a case went. And when she later on, basically she saw Amelia stepping out of the hospital, so basically go home, there's where Amelia finally told her the truth, like, hey, I didn't want to go out on you on that specific date is because I had to be with my son. I had to take care of my son because me and my ex, we rotate, like he stays with me and then he stays with my ex. So, it was my turn to take care of him. And obviously, Tony was like, hey, it's okay. Like, I totally understand where you are coming from. I also have a kid. I'm also a mom. And she actually ends up explaining her history as well. Basically, she's a single parent and her sister helps her take care of her kid as well while she works and while she can also have like her time. So a sister kind of helps her out when it comes to that. So at that point, we can clearly see that the two are on the same page, that they, basically have decided to give this feeling between them a try and to see until where it can go. So far we can see that yes, things are quickly rising between the two, and we can quickly see that things are definitely getting a little bit more intense between the two. I won't say serious because I feel like they are still at the honeymoon stage. They are just figuring out that they actually had crushes on each other back in the day, and now they are slowly, starting to, feel each other out a little bit more, dating a little bit more, going on dates. So hopefully we will get a chance to see them going on a first date as well. They will also be really nice, and hopefully will be a super romantic date. I feel like they will be truly good, but only time will tell. So far, the only thing as I can say, I really do hope that, Amelia get a chance to love again. If you guys don't know Amelia on the show, she went through a whole lot when it comes to her love life, from broken relationships, going through a lot of griefs, a lot of disappointments. Her previous relationship didn't work out because she told the person that she had a kid, and it was kind of a deal breaker. The other person didn't want to be with nobody that had a kid, and that was actually one of the reasons why she kind of didn't tell Toni that she had a kid, when they hooked up, because she didn't want, I don't know, she just, because of what happened in her last situation, she kind of just didn't want to tell it at that moment because she just wanted to leave that moment, and she was kind of afraid that Toni would reject her for that. And Toni told her, like, now that would be very naive from me because I am a mother too. So yeah, so they kind of have that in common. But I really do feel like, yeah, they will be good together. I don't know why. I just feel like they will be a great couple together. Hopefully the writers don't disappoint us. Hopefully they can keep this relationship going. Hopefully we can see more of them in the upcoming episodes. Obviously, we all know the Grey's Anatomy, when it comes to queer content and woman content, some way, somehow, they always tends to give us these moments. And I just want like a good lasting couple, like the way we used to get with Cali and Arizona back in the days. That would just be like the icing on the cake. And I can see that for Amelia as well, for Amelia and Toni. I kind of do feel the energy there. I do feel the connection and everything there. So hopefully we will see more of them together. So yes, guys, go ahead, go watch Grey's Anatomy season 22 because it is looking super good. Thank you so much for all the love and all the support. I hope I see you guys again at the next video, and goodbye.